The Obama administration changes course in the fight to overturn the Federal Defense of Marriage Act. Signature gathering can start in Ohio, and voters in North Carolina say that they support relationship recognition. So why are they also saying that they'll vote to take it away? I'm Matt Baum with the American Foundation for Equal Rights, and welcome to Marriage News Watch for April 9th, 2012. A big change in the Obama administration's position on the Defense of Marriage Act. At a hearing on Wednesday of last week, Government Attorney Stuart Dellery said for the first time that the Department of Justice would not defend DOMA on any basis. Previously, the administration had indicated that there were some circumstances under which the anti-gay marriage law was constitutional, but not anymore. Meanwhile, Paul Clemente, the lawyer hired by House Speaker John Boehner to defend the law, put forward some particularly weak arguments. His claim was that the government needs a uniform national standard for marriage, but Mary Bonauto, the attorney from Gay and Lesbian Advocates and Defenders, pointed out that a national standard for marriage isn't at issue. What's at issue is the irrational exclusion of LGBTs from that standard. There was a particularly poignant moment at the end of the hearing when an attorney for the state of Massachusetts described how the state had to create a separate cemetery to inter LGBT veterans and their spouses. Currently, gay couples can't be buried together in federal veterans cemeteries. There are now nearly 24 lawsuits involving DOMA, and just last week, Immigration Equality filed an additional one. The plaintiffs in that case are married binational couples who face exile from the U.S. because the federal government won't recognize their husbands and wives. Also this week, a judge in San Francisco ruled that federal courts should not withhold insurance benefits from the spouses of LGBT employees. The case was brought by a federal court employee legally married in 2008 who was told that his husband was not eligible for benefits because they're a gay couple. Despite the favorable ruling, the case is still far from over. The Defense of Marriage Act still forces the federal government to apply discriminatory rules against gay couples. So for now, the court may have to reimburse the couple for their privately purchased insurance. Let's look at some news from around the states. In North Carolina, a new survey shows that 6 in 10 voters support relationship recognition, but a majority still says that they'll vote for Amendment 1, which would ban all forms of relationship recognition except heterosexual marriage. With about a month left before the May 8th vote, it's clear that voters still don't understand the dire consequences of Amendment 1. In Ohio, the state attorney general has approved a proposed measure to overturn the state's ban on marriage equality. Supporters can now begin gathering the nearly 500,000 signatures to put the measure on the November ballot. And they have an important ally. The head of the Cleveland chapter of the NAACP has endorsed their effort. Meanwhile, the National Organization for Marriage has refused to back away from their leaked memos that reveal a plan to exploit African American and Latino communities. This week, NAM continued their claim that the African American community uniformly opposes marriage equality, refusing to acknowledge the ever-increasing number of pro-equality African Americans. There's likely to be major news in all of these stories very soon, from North Carolina's vote to Ohio's signature gathering to all of the DOMA cases. You can stay on top of all of them by subscribing to this channel. At the American Foundation for Equal Rights, I'm Matt Baum.